Hi, I'm Julia Walsh from Frack Action in New York State. I'm Lena Smith from New Jersey Food and Water Watch.
Karen Ferridan with Burke's Gas Truth, and we're here with Delaware Riverkeeper Network today.
Sandy Strauss with the Pennsylvania Council of Churches.
I'm Kat Lennox from Bucks County Concerned Citizens.
We're here today outside of Pennsylvania's Department of Environmental Protection headquarters outside of Governor Wolf's Pipeline Infrastructure Task Force meeting, where industry representatives and government officials are meeting together to come up with the best practices for building out a massive gas infrastructure projects across the state, all throughout, and that go throughout the entire Northeast. We're here today to deliver a letter that 115 organizations signed, calling on Governor Wolf to shut down this pipeline task force, to enact a moratorium, and to help the people of Pennsylvania who are suffering from fracking and fracking-related infrastructure. Many of our organizations from throughout the Northeast, from Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Maryland, New Hampshire, and Massachusetts, have signed this letter calling on Governor Wolf to shut down his pipeline task force. This message today that we're sending to you is to ask you to please join us at the next Pennsylvania Pipeline Infrastructure Task Force meeting that will happen right here on October 28th. And we hope to rally many people to come from all different states to have our voices heard, to stand with our brothers and sisters, our friends and neighbors here in Pennsylvania, that we will stand with them to stop fracking once and for all, and that together as a united movement throughout the entire Northeast, we will shut down frack gas infrastructure entirely. So please come.
Hi, my name is Julia Walsh. I'm from Frack Action, and I'm here with the group, so we were hoping to take a few extra minutes. I'll be speaking on behalf of the group. I'm the campaign director of Frack Action, a New York-based organization. And for years, we've been working with residents impacted by fracking in Northeast and Southwest Pennsylvania, and we've been able to assist when possible to deliver clean drinking water to residents in Dimmock, PA, and Susquehanna County. I'm joined here today by representatives from Bucks County Concerned Citizens, Delaware Riverkeeper, Food and Water Watch, and the youth organization Earth Guardians. We have come to this meeting to give to you, DEP Secretary John Quigley, a group letter that we would like to ask you to deliver to Governor Wolf. This letter is from 115 community-based and environmental organizations, and I quote from the letter, "Fighting and harmed by the massive expansion of gas infrastructure throughout the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic regions of the United States being driven by shale gas extraction in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania." This coalition of groups from Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, Maryland, Connecticut, Massachusetts, and New Hampshire signed on to this letter to call on Governor Wolf to shut down this pipeline task force, immediately enact a moratorium on fracking in Pennsylvania. Very quickly, you were right to say at the beginning of the meeting that there's public angst around fracking and its infrastructure, for good reason. Our angst is based on the reality of what the science is telling us, which now includes over 550 peer-reviewed scientific studies overwhelmingly showing harm to public health and safety and the environment. This angst is also driven by the reality of what state governments are doing just to the north and south of Pennsylvania. If you look just over the border to the north, New York has banned fracking outright after our commissioner from the Department of Public Health conducted a health review in which he, a recognized and respected doctor, said he would never let his family live near a fracking well. And if you look to the south of your border to Maryland, where the state legislature, urged by nurses, doctors, and health professionals, passed a moratorium on fracking, and the sitting Republican Governor Hogan let it pass into law. I would like to also note the reality that each of these states directly bordering Pennsylvania passed bans and moratoriums after elected officials came to see fracking firsthand in Pennsylvania. to meet Pennsylvanians with contaminated water, nosebleeds, skin rashes, vomiting, and illnesses from water that was once safe to drink and air that was once safe to breathe. What you and Governor Wolf have done here is a mockery to their suffering. For this administration to sit around a table with the very same corporations that are poisoning your citizens and hear from consulting firms that are here to give presentations about how these corporations can better gain public acceptance and use social media, as Bravo Group did here today, is a travesty. This letter and those 115 organizations are living with the reality of a crisis stemming from fracking in PA and its related infrastructure that this task force is commissioned to facilitate. We are backed and supported by state and local elected officials, health professionals, experts from their fields, and scientists that a massive build-out of frack gas infrastructure will lock us into decades of fracked gas at a time when our global climate is dependent on a full-scale, swift transition to renewable energy. And that is not only our message, but the message of the Pope, who will be arriving here in a few short days. Secretary Quigley and members of this task force who work for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, we are asking you to please listen to the science and the hundreds of thousands of people represented in this letter from throughout the Northeast. Shut down this task force, enact an immediate moratorium on fracking in Pennsylvania, and help Pennsylvanians who are suffering health impacts from fracking. And I'll just close by saying that all of our groups in the Northeast will not stop working in solidarity with our friends and neighbors in Pennsylvania until these demands are met. Thank you. And we have the Earth Guardian who will give you the letter, and I'll pass out a few letters to those in the task force from the state.